Have you ever been bitten by an elephant? How about a mosquito? That's a blood-sucking mosquito right there. My point is, it's the little things that bite you, right? It's the little daily habits that we ignore that add up to massive failures. For example, I had no idea that each morning I slept an extra 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, was compounding to an extra 10 hours each month that could change my life or keep me stuck. You know, I found out that the most successful people in the world have something in common. They conquer the covers. And most of them wake up at 5 a.m. By the way, I'm Terry Savelle Foy, your cheerleader of dreams, and I want to explain how waking up at 5 a.m. literally changed my entire life, and it can yours too. Oh, and my free download this week for you is my morning routine guide. This comes straight from my best-selling book, 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. Let me say real quick, this was the #1 download we had last year, so I want to make sure you get it because I'm telling you from experience, this will change your life. So all you have to do is click the link in the description to get your morning routine guide today. And hey, real quick, would you help me out? We are believing to impact more people than ever with this YouTube channel. And when you subscribe, it helps us more than you can imagine. You've probably heard me say that we are on a mission to help let YouTube know that you want Christian motivation. You know, there's tons of motivators and incredible videos out there, but this channel is based on success from God's Word. So when you just push the arrow below and subscribe, you're helping send a positive message to the world, and it's really simple, but it's so appreciated. So thank you for doing that. Now, I believe today's video is going to convince you to never hit the snooze button again. You know, for some reason, 5 a.m. seems to be the magic hour that every successful person I've studied says to get up. Now, when I first started getting up earlier, I started learning that if you want to be successful, you must have a plan to be successful. That it's not just going to happen. In fact, when I started this morning routine, I was at the lowest time of my life. I was in debt. I had no money in my savings account. I was unhealthy. I had no vision for my life. And the worst part, I had just recently separated from my husband. I was hurt, confused, miserable, and I'm this close to a divorce. And I was also asked by my boss to work from home. And since I was a ghostwriter, I could do that, but I thought it was the worst thing he could ask me to do during the loneliest time of my life. Stay home and work alone. In fact, my daughter was 5 years old at the time, and she had just started kindergarten, so my little buddy wouldn't even be around. The timing, I thought, just stunk. Well, in fact, with my marriage this close to heading to the divorce court, we started going to a marriage counselor. And I remember Dr. Farmer saying 5 words to me personally that changed my life. This is what he said: fight fear with a plan. Fight fear with a plan. Now, when he first said that, I was like, what? Come again? And he said, you always fight fear with a plan. He said, for example, if you fear getting lost, then you fight that fear with a plan. He said you have your GPS with the address loaded in it. You have your phone charged up and ready to make a call if there's construction or you can't get around it to your destination. He said when you have a plan in place, you don't fear. He said it's the same with life. You fear being lonely, then you fight that fear with a plan to stay occupied, stay productive on something. He said you fear that your life will never improve. You fight that fear with a plan for self-improvement. Well, during that memorable season of my life, I decided to put those things into place, and I got a plan to just get up a little bit earlier and work on me. Now, at that time, I had no idea that I was practicing the very habits of the most successful people in the world. All I did was I decided to get up at 5 a.m. each day with a plan to just go for a walk up and down my street. Now, it was pitch dark outside, and at first I was a little creeped out, but I carried my tear gas and I just did it. And I would return to the house and I would just sit quietly in my den with my little girl sleeping upstairs, and I would pray and I would start journaling my thoughts and my prayers and all the things that were going on in my mind. And then I would make myself read. I bought a book that was going to help me, with what I was going through at that time. And I would just sit there and read for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And then I would wake Cassidy up, get dressed, and take her to school. The next day, I got up at 5 a.m. I went for a walk up and down my street. And it was funny because it was exactly 7 laps up and down my street. I'll never forget it because I felt like I was walking around the walls of Jericho, believing for my breakthrough every single morning. I would return home. I would light candles, play worship music, and I would just sit on the couch for prayer and just time with the Lord. And then I'd read another chapter. The next day, got up at 5 a.m. I did it again and again and again. And you know what? My marriage was still on the verge of a divorce. My credit card still had debt. My body was still unhealthy. And I still didn't have any noticeable benefits. But things were drastically changing on the inside of me. Pretty soon, I could hardly wait to get up in the morning to keep my commitment to myself. It was the only plan I had in my life to fight fear with. And I knew something was happening. And nobody else could see it, but I felt it. My routine, my morning routine was priceless to me. I guarded it. In fact, I wouldn't let anything stop me from this private appointment. A month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months. And little by little, changes started showing up. Not only was my body starting to get in shape, but I paid off 1 credit card. And I had started getting fresh ideas from my job because of all the reading I was doing. And then little by little, my husband returned home. God healed my heart. He healed his heart. So I kept going, waking up at 5 a.m., walking, praying, reading, walking, praying, reading. 1 year later, my life was unrecognizable. I had become the CEO at my job. My marriage was healed. All of my credit cards were paid off. And my savings account was starting to grow. Everything had changed. And so, this morning, nearly 19 years later, I woke up at 5 a.m. I worked out. I prayed. I read. Now let me compare these seemingly small habits to the story, which I'm sure you've heard, of the magic penny. Now, I read this in Darren Hardy's book called The Compound Effect. He talks about the magic penny. And this is what he says. Let's imagine that you were offered $3 million right now, or a penny a day that doubles each day for 1 month. Which would you choose? Now, unless you've heard this before, most people would probably choose the instant $3 million. But you'd be making the wrong choice. So let's just imagine, let's say that your friend takes the cash, $3 million, and you take a chance on the penny route. On day 5, you have 16 cents and your friend is flaunting their $3 million. On day 10, you have enough for a cheeseburger. You have $5.12 versus your friend's millions. After 20 full days, with only 11 days left, you, Penny Lane, you have only $5,243 feeling like a loser while your friend is still gloating over $3 million that you lost out on. Then all of a sudden, the amazing compound effect starts to kick in. By day 29, your penny is now $2.9 million. But your friend reminds you that you're still behind, right? They have $3 million. It isn't until day 30 that you pull ahead with $5.3 million. And then by day 31, the very last day, you blow them out of the water, ending up with $10,737,418.24. Got it? The story of the magic penny is equally powerful in every area of your life. So what I'm saying is waking up at 5 a.m. has a way of compounding your success. You know, they say the tortoise always beats the hare. Well, even though the results are massive, the steps in the moment, they don't feel the least bit significant. But you know what? They all add up. So in closing, I want to remind you, we don't lose 30 pounds in a week with a little pill. You can't rub 20 years off your face with this little cream. You don't earn $100,000 a year by ordering a program for 3 easy payments of $29.95. No, success is determined by your routine, day in and day out, right? You know, I've heard Creflo Dollar say, it's not that you're not doing the right thing, you're just not doing it long enough to see results. So I want to encourage you, make this your year to get up earlier and invest in you. You can get up earlier. You can establish success habits. You can and you will see the compound effect work in your life. So I want to help you out by giving you my free download today, taken straight from my book, 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. Now this is part of my book, and it's called my Morning Routine Guide. Now, I know you're going to enjoy this, and it's going to help you stay focused. So all you have to do is click the link in the description to get your Morning Routine Guide. It's going to help you stay focused and committed to your new routine. I hope you enjoy this, and remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams. Hey YouTube! Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and to get more inspirational content, click one of these videos right here. And remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams.